Ladies and gentlemen, I am SidAlpha. Since the advent of multiplayer games, people have been forced to deal with cheaters of varying degrees and types. It has become very much a fact of life that no matter the system or the venue, if there are rules in place for something, there will be those that desire to find ways to get around them, and online multiplayer games have found themselves to be very much not immune to this desire. As such, there have been a never-ending battle between games developers to protect their multiplayer content to ensure the gameplay experience is as intended. And the advent of live streaming multiplayer games has given rise to the stream sniper. Now, for those of you that aren't aware of what I'm referring to, a stream sniper is a person that watches a live Twitch or YouTube game stream and tries to get into the same game as a streamer in order to gain an unfair advantage on them, being able to literally see what the streamer sees. PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds apparently takes great exception to this and has banned a player who goes by Lot or Loto for allegedly sniping a Twitch streamer who goes by the handle of Shroud. The series of events seems to be that Shroud was indeed getting sniped by a pair of other players, and when Loto happened upon him and shot him as he was running and jumping through an open area, Shroud made a comment that implied that Loto was a sniper as well.
Shit. Oh! It's that fucking Apex guy.
Bitch!
Yo,
Stream
Apex
snipers
Zero.
everywhere! Holy
Dude, it's
fuck!
this Apex Zero fuck again, dude. He's stream sniping. And he still got his fucking ass kicked. Apex Zero, you suck a fucking dick, bitch. Get fucked. You had the hill advantage, you still get shit on?
I just want to let you know
we
we got stream sniped by 2 groups. 2. That wasn't 1 group.
I'm
that
done
was 2.
going to that building. We die in that building so often, we're done with that building.
If you didn't go AFK, we would have been alright.
Shroud's chat went about issuing reports on all players involved, including Loto, and he received a ban, which apparently came as something of a surprise to him, as evidenced by a discussion he had with one of the game's Discord mods on your screen now. In it, he stated that he doesn't even watch Twitch streams and is confused as to why he received the ban, but doesn't seem to be hostile over the whole thing as so many others would have been. As a result of the uproar this has caused on the internet, PlayerUnknown released a statement on Twitter in which he said the following: "I have seen the data the community team looked at before issuing the ban, and the ban was indeed justified. The tracking data shows that the player in question tried to join the same lobby as their target multiple times. While we understand we cannot prove that this player was watching the target's broadcast, we see no other reason why they would be consistently attempting to be in the same lobby as someone who is broadcasting live other than to have an advantage in the game. We have tracking in place that allows us to verify unfair play like this despite what some players may think. For example, we can track when a player joins and quickly disconnects from multiple lobbies, only staying in a game when they're in the same lobby as their target. We are constantly developing new tracking systems and ways to ensure fair play from all players. We don't generally mention this publicly as it would give valuable information to those that try to cheat the system. No one gets special treatment, and if the data doesn't back up the claim, no ban is handed out. The community team is committed to ensuring everyone, no matter who they are, has a level playing field when in a game." I looked at the statement, and I have to admit, I rolled my eyes a little. The whole situation is actually ridiculous in nearly every respect. Firstly, the system you have in place to track and verify whether or not someone is sniping is to take a look at the connect and disconnect logs to determine whether a person has exhibited activity that would equate to trying to find a specific lobby and then match that up with the Twitch streamer's broadcast times. Okay, I'll accept that as face value and take you at your word. It seems pretty straightforward enough, except there's one slight problem in that aspect. Actually, it's not a slight problem, it's a big one. You see, PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds is still in early access, meaning it is actively being developed, and as such, there will be problems. Those problems might include graphical stutters, lagging, clipping, or even networking errors, such as comm errors when attempting to get into a lobby or even connect to the damn server. And I know this for a fact from my own experience where I couldn't even connect to the game when I went to get recorded footage for my previous video regarding this title. And as you're seeing those failed attempts to connect that I experienced firsthand on your screen now, it would be safe to assume that there could very well be at least a potential of issues with game lobbies as well when you take into account the fact that you're dealing with a very unfinished game. So from that aspect, your claims that this person disconnected an unstated number of times, there is a very real possibility that it actually has nothing to do with what was actually going on. Correlation does not equal causation, and in this instance, given everything I've seen on this topic, the ban was most definitely not justified in this instance, even based on my own empirical evidence of the current state of the game. Secondly, to be honest, I feel that the PlayerUnknown team stepped outside of the purview of their game by even issuing this ban to begin with. Now let's assume that a person is actually guilty of stream sniping. They are not affecting the game's servers or code in any way, shape, or form. They're not modifying the gameplay experience for anyone at all. What is happening is external to the game and its systems, and as such, I don't believe it's up to the developers to enforce a fair play policy resulting from outside their influence, especially considering the Twitch streamers themselves have full capability to put safeguards in place to prevent this from happening. Blizzard once posted a statement in regards to similar issues with StarCraft 2 streamers as far back as 2012, in which they stated, "While this is obviously poor sportsmanship on the part of the one viewing the stream, we'd like to clarify that this is not a violation of any current policies. In fact, we cannot enforce any fair play policies if a user chooses to provide their opponent an advantage. If someone in-game chooses to tell their opponent every move they're making, thereby informing them how to counter it, we cannot conclude that any violation has taken place." And as I said, these Twitch streamers can counter this issue quite readily by imposing a delay in their streams. Within the Twitch settings themselves or from within OBS or XSplit, the streamer has the capability to set a delay in their streams from a few seconds up to several minutes. In some cases, I've seen streams delayed by as much as half an hour. And while I know that a great many people will say that such a delay would interfere with chat engagement, in most cases that's simply not true or even an actual factor, and also given a delay of 15 to 30 seconds is all that's really needed in games such as these. Now, especially when dealing with an early access title where everything is changing and the game's stability is in question, the already virtually impossible task of ferreting out the truth behind whether or not someone is sniping a stream becomes entirely futile, and I feel that it shouldn't even be attempted to begin with when the streamers themselves have the tools at their disposal to prevent it. All it does is wind up with situations like with Loto, where a seemingly innocent person receives a ban because a Twitch streamer had a fit of pique and their viewers mass reported the target of the streamer's ire. Which actually brings me to another point. In looking up information in this, I've seen countless people state how many of these Twitch streamers blame someone of sniping at the drop of a hat in order to find some way to blame their loss on someone having an unfair advantage in order to assuage their own egos, and their fan bases will go attack the player in question, either by mass reporting them or by more targeted harassment methods. And that I find particularly disgusting, and for those of you that have followed my channel for a while, you know why. The weaponization of a fan base is an extremely powerful and amazingly dangerous thing to do, and it is something that you will find many content creators deliberately attempting to avoid. And while I know some people will say, oh, this person only has 10 followers or 100 or 50,000, so how much damage can they do? Like, seriously, get over yourself. But frankly, I don't care whether a person has 10 followers, 100, 1,000, or 1,000,000. The fact that another person relies on what you say and the information you relate is a powerful thing, and it is dangerous when misused. When you feel you are being attacked, fans will sometimes see it as their duty to protect the object of their fandom. And really, it's a fine line between fan and fanatic, and very often that relationship is not something that is terribly healthy. And while even if you don't direct your fans to do something and in no way spur them to action, you still have a responsibility to your viewers to treat them with honesty and respect. Understand that other people are putting their faith in you, and treat that faith and that trust with the respect and yes, even the fear that it deserves. I had made that mistake at one point, and the potential consequences would have been catastrophic if I had been wrong, and so I try to be careful to not directly tell my viewers to do anything, and in thinking about it, I should be even more careful than that. But it would seem that many of these Twitch streamers don't regard their audience with that level of respect. As a result of that, a probably innocent person received a 7-day ban for having done nothing more wrong than playing a video game and running afoul of a Twitch streamer that would rather come up with excuses than admit they lost a match. As always, please do let me know what you think down in the comments below. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, I am SidAlpha, and I'll see you next time.